Hi. Uh, this short little video is going to kind of introduce you, first of all, to myself. I am Mr. Walvogel, as well as just some things that I have noticed have been kind of a problem as I've been teaching courses here at K-12. So this is going to be a nice opportunity to make sure you don't have those little issues that pop up, and they're not huge problems, but there's just things that need to make sure that they get done so that the course goes smoothly. Now here I just picked a personal finance course. Now it might not look exactly like the course that you have, but it's going to look pretty similar. When you log in, you're going to see on the left panel here where there's the syllabus, calendar, teacher contact information, course help, class connect, and all that stuff. Now you might see a couple of other things that have little asterisks next to them. You're not going to have those. That's just something that I see when I log in. Now, the first thing you do need to do is go through the course overview. If you look on the left here, you can see course overview. You click on it, and it doesn't really take that long to go through. And I know some of you might say, I've taken K-12 classes for a couple years, all the course overviews are the same, why do I have to do it? I can tell you they're not all the same. Especially for personal finance, you will need to go through it. It is important because every semester I get emails, well, I can't find this resource, I can't find that resource. Going through the course overview will have those, the resources are in here, okay? So that's the first thing you're going to want to do. You're going to also want to click on the syllabus and go through it and kind of read to see the different parts of the class and see what you'll be learning. And then there's also the calendar. Now, depending on when I receive the information from your school, it might be ready right away, it might not. If it's not ready, feel free to get started. I know K-12 doesn't really recommend it, but for me, I'd rather you get started and get moving along. There are no penalties for getting things done early, so why not? Here's the teacher contact information. If you want to get a hold of me, here's the location to do that. I always prefer K-mail. It's the #1 way to get hold of me. I will get back to you within 24 hours. So that is something you should know. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the assignments and grading. So that's why I'm going to click on section 1. I know there's the raise your hand parts. I would think if you're going to get a quicker answer by sending me a K-mail, honestly, rather than the raise your hand. I try to check them as often as possible, but sometimes especially if we've moved on, if we're on section 3 and you put something in section 1 because you're a little behind, you're much better off K-mailing me. And if you do use the raise your hand and you don't get a response within, let's say, a day or two, shoot me an email and say, hey, I put something in raise your hand, can you take a look at it? And I'll be more than happy to do that. Alright, so I'm just looking at section 1, but this is going to apply to all sections. So click on section 1, and it's going to tell you what you're going to learn, and you need to actually go through this. And I have some of you, or some students I've had in the past, I should say, kind of skip over this part, or don't do it. It's going to make your life a lot harder. Okay? Take the time, actually go through each section. And then you go to study questions 1. And here's something that's really important, and I'm going to probably repeat myself just because it's something that I always spend a lot of time with in the semester, and it's a little frustrating, to be honest. What I need you to do is follow the instructions on this. Highlight. You can even highlight from the instructions all the way down. That's fine. But you have to highlight the point values as well as any sentence requirements. You have to do this. And maybe on the first couple of assignments, I will send you an email reminder about that. But as the semester goes on, if you keep doing that, I will not grade your work. And I will not be sending you continuous emails. There was a student last semester where I had to send 6 emails basically saying you need to have the sentence requirements and the point values. And I know I can look that up, but to be honest, it's more work for you to get rid of them than it is for you to have them on there. Because you can just highlight this whole part here pretty simply, copy it and paste it, and I don't know why you would do that. The only reason why, and this is just from my experience, is if you are not going to hit the sentence requirements and you are hoping that I won't take off points. Uh, it's not going to pay off because I won't grade it. Okay, and that's just how it has to be. Another thing is if you have a class that doesn't have the point values, and I know there's one or two uh, on those assignments, and I happen to send you an email saying, hey, you got to fill that in, can you just kindly let me know or remind me? Because I teach a lot of different classes, and sometimes I get a little confused. So just say, hey, this assignment didn't have the point values. Can you please grade it? And I'll say, oh, I forgot it. Forgot that they don't have point values, and then I will grade it. So that is the number one thing with assignments that I have issues with. The number two thing is you've got to copy these into a Word or Notepad document. And if you look on the second part here, it says, in a word processing program such as Notepad or Microsoft Word, you have to put these in that. All of your assignments, so your study questions, your assignments, your projects, anything, they have to go in there. It is K-12 policy. I'm not supposed to grade anything that's not in there. If you need help with how to do that, especially if you don't have Word and Notepad is causing you issues, please ask me, and I will help you figure it out. Every semester I have a few students that just copy and paste it into the comments section, meaning the questions and answers. Please don't do that. It's just one of those things where there's certain software that K-12 has to detect cheating, and it's policy that all of your work gets checked by that. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but each time you turn in an assignment, you turn in study questions, it searches the internet, it searches a lot of different resources, and you get a score out of 100% about how much of that is the same as the internet. So if you have a really high score, then I'm going to do some research. If you have a really low score, then you're going to be okay. So please do that. Make sure, number one, you highlight and copy all of the point values and sentence requirements, and then please try to hit the sentence requirements. I do take off points if you don't have that. And then number two, please put this in a Notepad or Word document. I will remind you once or twice, but after that, you're just not going to have your work graded. Excuse me. Okay, so that's kind of it for those things. You're going to hear me talk about trying to stay ahead of your work all the time because, to be honest, it's so important. Please don't wait till the last minute. If you have questions, ask me. Usually I'm pretty good about giving you resources or maybe explaining it a different way than what it is with the course. And there's a lot of different things we can do. If you get under the gun, I can try to give you more time. I have to follow your school's rules. So if there's a time where assignments are due at a certain time, and after that point I can't accept them, it's your school's policy. I follow their rules. I have a little leeway sometimes, but most of the time I have to follow what they say. So when I post something about when assignments are due or when there's a deadline, please don't just ignore it. Because I have to follow those rules. Another thing is, please, no academic misconduct. None of my classes, there should not be any group work in any of my classes. And I have went through these classes before, and I know students have attempted to hand in group work. Please do it yourself, especially if there's anything with opinion and you have the same exact opinion as someone else. That's a red flag to me, and don't expect to get to redo that work. You're most likely going to get a 0, and then, well, you're definitely going to get a 0, and you're probably not going to be able to do it again. So please do your own work. But other than that, again, if you ever have questions, feel free to come to the Class Connect session. Feel free to send me an email, and I'll do everything I can to help you out. But please make sure you're following these rules, and I think you're going to do just fine. Okay? So it was nice meeting you, and let's have a good semester.